Okay, so I hit a deer. Here's the arrow. Where was he standing compared? He was here, and that's the stand right there. And he was quartering away, and I don't know how good of a shot I got on him. He was standing like this, and I shot, and he went that way. So I don't know what kind of blood trail we're going to have, if anything. I'll let you know whenever I find it. We have a deer down. A nice spike in which I've been seeing on the trail camera, which it didn't matter to me. I'm not trophy hunting or meat hunting. And the joke of this is, two jokes. One, I gotta drag it out of a very low ravine, which I'm gonna go that way, because that's the closest way to camp. And two, this is a very, very expensive deer. When I say that, I mean, we bought the property, bought a new arrow, bought new hunting clothes. This deer equates to a very, very nice sports car in value. And then I came here, I'm over there, 80 yards. There is absolutely no blood trail on this deer that I am able to find whatsoever. Because the last time I saw him, he was running this way and heading that way. So because there was no blood trail, I went ahead and went to the last known position because I didn't know how good of a shot I made on it. Clearly, good enough. But if we look on the other side here, oh yeah, okay. So you could see he was quartering away, and I shot. Anyway, I'll deal with that in a minute. But the arrow went from the other side through the left lung, so upper right lung, lower left lung, and I didn't have a choice. He spotted me, and he knew, which I saw him coming. It was dead quiet, and I knew he was coming, so I went ahead, went full draw. As soon as I saw him coming, stood up, went full draw, and held it. And as soon as it looked like he was about to move, I picked an area and let it go, because I haven't had many shots. So first deer, 26 days in the stand, 50 plus hours. Okay, I got to get this clean and start dragging it back before it gets... Okay, back at camp, and it's successful. Drug it all the way from the middle of the property, and I don't know how good you can see me. I did save the heart for, I'm going to try heart steaks. And I've got Mr. Deer in the wagon. I don't know if I showed you the spikes here. This was the one that was on camera Thursday morning, I believe it was. Walked like right in front of the camera, 13 yards on the other side of where the tree stand is. And so yeah, shot it high, but got both lungs. And it just was interesting that it did not bleed. You know, usually the arrow was covered. You saw the arrow, but there was no blood. And I've never had that happen to me before. That it did not bleed, and I kept my eye on it until I couldn't see it anymore. Let me come in here. And I just kind of scoured the area where I last saw it, and there it was piled up. Very thankful, happy that I'm able to harvest an animal off the land. I'm not trophy hunting, I'm looking for meat, and very, very thankful that I'm able to accomplish that. I didn't even get to show you from the tree stand, but I have a buck on the ground. 7-point buck. Where's my stand at? Oh, right there. There's my stand. This is the exact same spot that spike buck came in. I shot him right there, and he ran that way. This buck came from that direction, and I shot that spike buck November 3rd. This buck, I heard him walking because it's dead silent. Came in here. So I got a little work ahead of me. I got a 3/10 of a mile drag back to camp, get him all situated, regroup, and then go out and try to fill the antlerless only tag. You can see he's got a chip there, and see, I don't think that point here counts because it's just a nub, but everything else, that buck's been rubbing on stuff, and I can't find any place where any of these rubs or scrapes are at. So very thankful that I'm able to take another one. This one looks to be about 90 to 100 pounds. The other one was about 80-ish pounds. I think this one might be bigger than 100, but I don't have the tools in order to weigh it, and I'm not going to spend the money in order to weigh a deer when I can just butcher it out and based on the weight. So it's a nice deer. Very happy that I was able to take another one off our property. So the value of deer are now going down. It's not just one. I say that because we bought the property, bought the hunting equipment and all that stuff, and every animal we take ethically off the land, that value goes down, just jokingly. So let me get this cleaned up and get it back to camp, and then we will eat breakfast and go back out. This was the first time I've ever hunted this stand in the morning. I knew that this stand would be a good one. I've got a trail camera behind, just up 10 feet off the stand on another tree there. And I believe I've got this buck on trail camera a couple of weeks ago on a Thursday morning. So back at camp, 2 hours and 10 minutes since I shot the deer. Got it back to camp. It's over here. Drug it, I think, around a half mile. Between a quarter and a half mile. Because that's just the way we do things. We don't have a four-wheel or a tractor, and the woods are so thick and all this other stuff. So, got it here. It is bigger just by size, not, the longer you drag something, the heavier it gets. It is much bigger than that spike buck, which would be expected because the spike buck would be a year and a half old. This would be 2.5-year-old, I would guess, or a hefty year and a half. So I think this is about a 110 to about a 110 pound buck. Okay, so I'm tagged out. First time that's happened. Shot at about 30 yards. What I got was a yearling button buck. Which is legal for me to take because it's less than 3 inches in antler length. And I've seen this one camera, trail cam before. I shot it. Where am I at here? Hold on. It ended up piled up underneath. Of course, it always goes under the most difficult thing. But I did shoot it. It came out back over here. And so I shot it right there. You can see the deer stand there. I'll get a perspective from the deer stand. And then it started bleeding here. And then I shot it one more time because it just stood there. And then it went down under that tree branch right here, and then I drug it over there to be able to process it. So it's not the biggest deer. It is a legal deer. It'll produce probably 25, maybe 30 pounds of meat. That's fine with the bigger buck that I got in the car, that I got yesterday. Our freezers will be topped off and probably will need freezer space, so we'll figure that out. So yeah, very successful. Thankful that I'm able to do such, harvest 3 deer in 3 weeks on our property, utilizing all the tags that we were issued. I got to process one. This one's going to be a lot easier to drag out than that big buck yesterday. So I'll get it back to camp, and then I'll eat, and then I'll start disassembling camp, pack everything up, and I'll show you what that is, and then we'll shut her down for the year. That was also the same stand that I took the buck out yesterday morning, shot the buck from yesterday morning. I shot the buck from in the stand on the right hand side, 14 yards. This one was 30 yards to the left hand side. So all 3 deer this year taken from the same stand, and 2 of the 3 were taken and shot in the exact same spot. So technically, I mean, we got 2 bucks and then a yearling, which is an antlerless only deer, is a deer that obtains no antlers or antlers of less than 3 inches, and this has got nubs on the top, so it's perfectly legal. And I think this one we've seen multiple deer on camera. So happy. I'll process it, and we'll head back to camp. Made it back to camp with the harvest.